This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
Angle. There's also around this time a groundswell, and we've talked about it, that you deserve better. Your character, Kurt Angle, deserves better creatively. Are you thinking the same thing? Do you remember at this time?
Yeah. And you know what? I did finally speak up to Vince after WrestleMania, and I told him, hey, I was expecting a much bigger program this year for WrestleMania. It didn't happen. It didn't happen the year before. I said, are you going to continue to push me again and maybe give me a better program for next WrestleMania? And he did, because WrestleMania 19, the following year, I main evented WrestleMania against Brock Lesnar. So he fulfilled his promise.
Yeah,
but it had to take me standing up. I had to stick up for myself.
Yeah, it seems like you were doing it all throughout the year, and then come WrestleMania time, like you said, those first two WrestleManias kind of didn't live up to what you were accomplishing throughout the year. Jim Ross has always said happiness in the business comes down to two things: cash and creative. We've talked about the creative, but Kurt, was the cash good enough to outweigh the creative at this point?
At WrestleMania that year, WrestleMania 18, no. It was okay. I mean, the money was all right, but it didn't compare to what I did that year. And, the thing is, if you're going to trade off cash and creative, they kind of go hand in hand, because you have to be creative to come up with a more popular superstar so you can make more cash. So creative and cash kind of go together.
Absolutely agree. Well, here comes the WrestleMania card, and this is how it shapes out. You got Rock and Hogan. Thank God for that match at that show, because it was iconic. You got Hunter versus Jericho. Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Scott Hall. You got Undertaker and Ric Flair. Are you worried where you're going to be at on the card, and what kind of crowd reaction you're even going to have at the point in which time you and Kane actually get to wrestle?
Of course I was worried. I mean, this is a big card. This was a really good card. And I just wanted to make sure I was on before all of them. and I wanted to make sure that we got our allotted time. In other words, I didn't want them to cut our time, and they actually did. And I'll talk about that later.
Okay. Let's talk about real quick, as we talked about the card. I said Rock and Hogan, Hunter and Jericho, you're familiar with, Austin Hall, Taker, Flair. Are you excited to see any of those four matches, or is it just another day at the office for you?
Me personally, I wanted to see Rock and Hogan, two of the biggest icons in the business, facing off. The match was never supposed to happen, and here we have it. This was the match of the century.
Yeah.
And also Taker and Ric Flair, I knew it'd be a great match, and I was looking forward to that one as well.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.